The skies are how they always are. The clouds are a mixture between grays and whites. Perhaps rain could be likely. The small town you live in, perhaps only a couple hundred people at most, moves as it always does. People are coming in from the nearby fields, and a couple of traveling merchants begin packing their things to head to the next town for a few days. However, not even they would be able to escape what happened. You notice that out in those fields a rocky Tacet mark appeared, killing the crops and causing the land around it to decay. It became a lifeless, gray husk. The skies became dark and gray, but just a few seconds ago they were normal. However, the skies aren't just cloudy. They appear to move like waves, as if there's an ocean in the sky. You're no longer wandering around. Instead, you are frozen in fear as you begin to hear noises, chaotic frequencies. The people begin to panic, and your local midnight rangers go towards the field to investigate. Though, suddenly crashing out of nowhere, it sounds like the very world itself is crashing together just like waves, and you notice that it's raining. But upon closer inspection, you notice that the ground itself is looking watery, and the droplets are going upwards. The frequencies of the land itself are being condensed and collected by the Etheric Sea. You've read books about it, and you've even seen a couple videos here and there about the Etheric Sea and of Tacet discords, but it's completely different than you could have ever imagined. You begin to hear things, sounds from the past, and as you turn around, you see what appears to be a phantom of your brother. He went into the Midnight Rangers, and the last message you got from him was that he was going to attack the Threnodian alongside General Geshu Lin. It didn't have much information, but you know that this phantom isn't him. He looks younger than you do now. It's like a window into the past. As you turn back, you see Tacet discords forming, gray humanoid figures, some with what appear to be spikes for arms, and some with hands holding a weapon of some kind. You turn to flee, but your brother calls out to you, asking where you're going. You turn around, forgetting he is merely a phantom, and as you look on at him, he fades away as a Tacet discord lunges at you. You fall backwards to the ground and raise your arms. However, it never meets you. The Midnight Rangers move in, firing their Tacetite weapons and killing TDs. However, there are way too many of them. You look on in fear as you notice a Tacet discord grabs hold of an elderly woman. You see the color draining from her body, and you notice their face is being spaghettified, like a black hole for people, consuming the frequencies of someone alive. The Midnight Rangers are unable to keep up the fight against all of the Tacet discords, some of them screaming as their very body is being torn asunder. You manage to gather the courage to run away, though after a few feet you trip. Fear overcomes your body, turning on your back after hearing your brother call out once again. However, the phantom is dispersed, and you see a green spear. Turning back, you see a different man. It's like a green angel to you in this moment. Offering his hand, he tells you to run, and that he'll handle things from here. Turning to run, you can't help but look back, seeing this strange man using what appears to be a green dragon to devastate the Tacet discords. A green spear that he summons, and a broad blade. It's almost like the phantoms don't faze him, like he's immune. Later on, you meet with more Midnight Rangers and explain to them what happened, asking what was going on. The Etheric Sea is a large sea that appears over Tacet fields. In other words, it is the Wuthering Waves and Wuthering Waves. It's the very first thing our characters John, Wuthering, and James Waves broke through when arriving at the start of the game. Though I have many theories as to why Rover came through this sea and what the deity who gave us the Tacet mark is, I will save those for a different video. The Etheric Sea is related to the wave worm phenomenon, and like most things related to it, it's not entirely understood. The Etheric Sea creates Tacet fields and Tacet discords. The only thing for certain is that the Etheric Sea is destructive to the land and by extension a threat to mankind's existence. However, Etheric Sea holds more unique properties than just an explanation for farming in-game items or fighting enemies. It is made up of countless, perhaps a nearly infinite amount of frequencies, taking the shape of a sea. Additionally, it's a watery substance. The retroact rain is a phenomenon caused by the etheric sea that condenses frequencies into raindrops that begin to float upwards, towards the sea itself. The chaos used by the etheric sea is so intense that even gravity, the only pre-element law of physics that remains, is altered. This rain contains the residual frequencies and echoes of the past, allowing for people touched by it to become affected by these frequencies and essentially gaze into the past. Since the raindrops are pure information of these frequencies, you can even interact to a degree with these hallucinations, or in the case of the Threnodian Ovathrax, empower them to become so entwined with reality that they can cause harm and death to those present. These phantoms can be experienced by anyone, regardless of how powerful they are. Even General Jian and the rover are affected by it, with General Jian seeing his predecessor, General Geshu Lin. While it is possible to mitigate the effects, a cure for these hallucinations does not exist.